Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us in this lesson. We shall be discussing Mathematics Paper 1, Section 1 today. Later in this great paper, we shall be discussing the Section 2, Mathematics Paper 1. So remember to share this lesson so that you may invite a friend to our wonderful classes. You may comment, yeah, give a comment. Let us know whether you are getting us clear from wherever you are. You can use the comment section to let us know whether we are together. Otherwise, thank you so much for trusting in our presentations. This is Shifting Grades Online School, the home of academics. It's good for you to remember that we are already beyond 96,000 subscribers, and we are targeting the Silver Creator Award, which is given at the first 100,000 subscribers. So with your support, with your classmates' support, with your friends' support, we shall be there. So kindly continue subscribing, continue liking, continue commenting, and all that means a lot to us. We look at number one of this great paper. Remember, we are discussing Kenya National Gurus Examination Council, a paper that is well thought out. You can be sure this one is very great. Let us see. Let us see. Let us see the paper question by question, bit by bit, as we analyze everything without using mathematical tables or a calculator. Evaluate 1.96 raised to the power of r minus 0.4 minus 1 over 5, then out of 1.2 divided by 0.07 multiplied by 9.8, leaving your answer as a fraction in the simplest form. So let us work out this question. And as I've been encouraging you people, as I've been advising people, ensure that you work out fully the numerator first. Later, you tackle the denominator. Then now you combine the two simplified answers. So we can start with the numerator. I hope you are sharing the link. So with the numerator, it's good to first convert. Remember, we're not going to use a table. We're not going to use a calculator. So it's advisable you make this one a fraction such that it is 196 out of 100. Instead of 1.96, we make it now 196 out of 100. And this is now being raised to the power of half. That one we shall solve later. Minus, instead of 0.4, this is 4 over 10. Are we together there? Minus 1 out of 5. We continue solving. Look at this power half, and then recall the laws of indices. I've discovered that indices shall be greatly applied in this paper. We know very well that when you have a base raised to a fractional power, m over n, we solve this one by taking the nth root of the base, then we raised to power m like that, meaning that at the first term here, it shall be 2 becomes a root as 1 becomes a power, according to the law of indices stated up there, meaning that we shall have the square root now of 196 out of 100, then everything power 1. Of course, now power 1, there shall not be any impact. It shall just remain the same. Minus. In the brackets now, we are solving. The LCM is 10. 10 divided by 10, we get 1, then times 4. It becomes a 4 minus 10 divided by 5, we get 2 times 1. It remains a 2, like that. So at this point, when we obtain square root, we know that the square root of 196 is this 14. Yeah, 14 out of 10. The square root of 100 is 10. Is that okay? Now that we have that, we can minus 4 minus 2, we get 2 over 10 once again. Thank you. Now we can finish up there. Okay, the LCM is already the same, so we can simply subtract the numerators, but let me simplify. 10 divided by 10, we get 1. So these are 14 minus 10 divided by 10, we get 1 times 2, so 2. So we are having 12 out of 10. This can still simplify to divided by 2, we get 6. This is 5. You see, it has already been simplified now. Can leave it that way because there's another process of denominator. Is that okay? Yeah, confirm sound, confirm screen. You can leave a comment explaining whether you're getting something from this presentation. Yeah, confirm what you can see on the screen. Is everything clear? Thank you. Yes, so we can proceed. The denominator now. At the denominator, ladies and gentlemen, bring 1.2, and it's also good for you to know that according to BODMAS, see, this is the acronym which helps us to know how we're supposed to order our operations. Brackets first, we don't have. Off second, we don't have. Then there's now division. So we start with division at the denominator. We start with division. So 1.2 is 12 over 10. This being divided by 7 out of 100 instead of 0.07. Can have 7 over 100. Then this now later multiplied by 9.8. Our screen is very clear. Kindly check on your network. You know, I'm watching myself on my phone also as I do my presentation. I'm also listening to myself. So everything is very clear. If you're not seeing us well, kindly work on your network. You can, yeah, check on your data bundles, whether they are enough or something. Anyway, you know, to divide fractions means multiplying by the reciprocal. Is this okay? Then we multiply by 9.8, like that. At this point now, and remember, we're supposed to convert 9.8, sorry, to 9.8 out of 10. At this point, we can do some simplification, whereby you will allow me now cancel by 10. This is 100, and we have 2 tens at the denominator, which make it now 100 also. Then 98 is divisible by 7, making it 14. By 7, 14. So we have 14 times 12. 14 times 12. That is the simplified denominator. So ladies and gentlemen, now, ladies and gentlemen, we what we obtained from the numerator with what we are getting from the denominator. Let's combine this. To combine this means we take 6 over 5 divided by 14 multiplied by 12. You remember me saying that this means if we have 6 over 5. To divide by this means to multiply by its reciprocal. Multiply by its reciprocal. So if we are to simplify now at that point, ladies and gentlemen, we shall talk of by 6 1, by 6 2. So it's like now we are having 1 out of 5 multiplied by 14 multiplied by 2. This is 140. So we are having 1 out of 140 as the simplest form. Remember, we were told to leave our answer as a fraction and in the simplest form. Fraction and in the simplest form. Fraction and in the simplest form. If that has been solved properly and clearly to you, please give us a comment. Type yes, I'm learning. It's also good to let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know let us know your school. Let us know your school. Cheers to all the representatives and ambassadors of their respective schools. You can also share this link with your classmates, with your friends, regardless of the school they come from. You know, we have friends from other schools. Let us share this in our TikTok accounts, in our Facebook accounts, in our WhatsApp status, in our WhatsApp groups. Let us grow Shifting Grades Online School as we proceed to number 2. Now, the question in number 2 says that 3 bells ring at intervals of x minutes, 2x minutes, 3x minutes. Then the bells rang together at 9 a.m. and they are expected to ring together again after 1 hour. Find the possible value. Find the possible value of x. And thank you to those that are still inviting their friends. You can see we are now increasing in the numbers that are watching. And thank you so much. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You know very well that this is that one we all know, is it? And if we know, then we're supposed to know that this question has slightly been twisted. So it's exactly what we've been doing. Exactly what we have been doing. Therefore, this being what we are used to, allow me simply and clearly apply LCM. 1, the interval that will be taken has already been given. Then the respective intervals are in minutes. These bells are going to ring after 1 hour. Therefore, interval to be taken equals to 1 hour, which is equivalent to 60 minutes. You see, we usually say that the overall or the general interval that will be taken for these particular bells to ring together equals to the LCM of the individual intervals for every bell. Therefore, allow me say that the LCM is usually in the units of the respective intervals. Therefore, this particular interval should be converted to the units of the respective intervals. And with that, now we can say the LCM of these intervals equals to 60. So we can now find the LCM using unknowns. The LCM of x, the LCM of 2x, the LCM of 3x, like that. Allow me now proceed and say, when working out LCM, ladies and gentlemen, we're supposed to consider common factors. And remember, we're supposed to use prime factors in our simplification. So the first common factor in all these intervals is going to be x. So that this becomes 1, this becomes 2, this becomes 3 when you factorize x. Then 2, 1, 1, 3. We proceed to 3, 1, 1, 1. So the LCM using algebra or the unknowns is 2 times 3 times x and this LCM is 6x. Now we're supposed to know that because the LCM is our interval. Then, ladies and gentlemen, with all the confidence, we can now say that this particular expression of 6x should be equal to 60 minutes because you can see the interval is 60 minutes. So to remain with x, you divide by 6 and this becomes 10. Therefore, the value of x is exactly 10 because the LCM according to the unknowns is 6x and the LCM is equal to the interval taken by the bells to ring together. So that is what you're supposed to be having. A very good question. Sometimes the examiner will simply the examiner will simply uh, the examiner will simply twist what you've been knowing, what you've been doing almost every day. A slight twisting of what you've been doing, and you'll start thinking that you don't know. You'll start thinking that it's a tough concept, yet it's what we are used to. So that's how simple the question is. If you're getting something, type on the comment section. Yes, I'm learning. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you, Meru School. Kapsoa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I like this. I like this. St. Paul's Boys High. St. Paul's. Is that St. Paul's Chamothei? I've seen some boys from St. Paul's Chamothei, and that is very good from Makueni County. So that is so good. We continue. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miriam. We continue. We continue learning. Remember to like, remember to share, remember to invite a friend to this particular great presentation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me proceed to number 3. In number 3, we've been told to simplify the expression. Simplify the expression. The first one, the numerator, that is. The numerator is a quadratic expression. The denominator is also a quadratic expression, but it's a special expression which we call a difference of two squares. Yeah, we call it a difference of two squares. Therefore, we can get now to the equations and check. Could there be a factor that can be used? Because you see, these are fractions. The constants are fractions. They are not integers. And you know very well, for you to factorize what we call a difference. Okay, for you to factorize a quadratic expression, factorization method applies for integers, constants that are integers. Therefore, you can see that the LCM of the denominators at the numerator. You see, the numerator is having denominators. That's a wonderful statement. Listen to me very well. I'm saying that the numerator is having denominators, and the denominator is also having numerators and denominators because they are fractions. And therefore, we can look for a way of simplifying this first. What will happen if we multiply by a common value like 16, and also we do the same by 16, just for simplification purposes, to simplify these. And when you multiply by the same constant at the numerator and also the denominator, then the value of the expression shall not be affected because mathematically 16 over 16 is 1. Therefore, multiplying independently the numerator with a constant and the same constant is also multiplied at the denominator, then the value of our expression shall remain unaffected. If we are together there, type yes. I've told you that the paper we are discussing is well thought out. It's a very great initiative. This one shall leave you thinking. This one shall leave you thinking. You must reason tonight with me. Okay, so when we multiply the 8 here will give us 2. So by 2 becomes a 6x power 2. 16 by 16 shall just cancel. So minus 7x. 16 by 16 again shall just cancel. So minus 3. At the denominator, 4 divided by 16 divided by 4, we get 4. So 4x power 2 minus 16 divided by 16, we get 9. Because it will be 1 times 9, negative 9. So now we can deal with a numerator first, which is a quadratic expression. We need a product of a times c, 6 multiplied by negative 3. Well, this becomes negative 18. Is that okay? Then sum of the value at b, which is a negative 7. Now we need two factors such that when they are multiplied, they give us negative 18. When they are added, they give us a negative 7. So these two factors shall automatically be negative 9 and a positive 2. Product negative 18, sum negative 7. So they are negative 9 and positive 2. It's good for you to know that in the process of identifying these particular factors, you can factorize the product. It will help you to come up with possible combination of the factors that will give you the sum that we need and the product that we need. Now we can proceed. We can proceed. Let me check whether you guys are still following. I've told you that I'm watching the lesson together with you. Thank you. You can see the numbers are increasing. You can see we are still following up. Okay. Now we're going to replace negative 7 with negative 9 and 2. So the expression changes to 6x squared minus 9x and positive 2x. Now negative 9 and positive 2 is a replacement of negative 7. Then this is a negative 3. In the first two factors, we need to factorize whatever is common. What is common in the first pair? We have 3x being common, so that will remain with 2x and a negative 3, like that. Then in the other two factors, it is only positive 1 that is common. 2x and negative 3 remain in the brackets. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we shall have 2x. This is from the brackets, 2x minus 3. Then outside the brackets, what are we having? 3x plus 1. That means now our numerator factorized. Our numerator is fully factorized. At that point, we can also check the denominator. Our denominator, as I told you, is what you call a difference of two squares. Look at it, 4x squared minus 9. You know, this is a subtraction side, and the two terms being subtracted, each are subtracted. So that is an expression that we call a difference of two squares. And from what you call quadratic identities, we say that to simplify a difference of two squares, you don't need to work a lot. You need to know that if an expression is in the form a squared minus b squared, you factorize by taking square root of this term, which is a, plus square root of the second term, square root of the second term. The square root of the second term is a b. Then with this, ladies and gentlemen, we can still open brackets and have a minus b. So this one now is the factorized form of the difference of two squares that we have. At our denominator, 4x squared minus 9 shall be equal to the square root of the first part is 2x plus The square root of the second part is a 3. In the same factors, but now with a minus. 2x minus 3, like that. After simplifying like that, now we can combine what we got from the numerator, 2x minus 3, 3x plus 1, out of, that is our denominator. That's our numerator. Then out of the denominator, we've just simplified here. 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. At this point, you can see common factors, right? You can see common factors, this one and this one, meaning that our final answer shall be 3x plus 1 out of 2x plus 3. That is now the most simplified format of the expression that we were told to simplify. One of the greatly and wonderfully set questions. Are we together in that? If yes, please type yes, I'm learning. Homa Bay, thank you so much. Tuzinde High School, well represented. St. Anthony's Boys, that is Kitale. Then we have somebody saying formula method is clear. Mbita High School, thank you so much. Somebody talking about a formula method. I think they are talking about solving an equation. Yet, in our case, handling expressions, not equations. We are solving an equation. We are simplifying expressions. So the quadratic formula shall not work in this case. I don't know whether we are together in that. Wangapala School. Faith Gideon Ukiaga, so much. Ukiaga girls have been following our presentations of late, courtesy of Mr. Ivita, Mr. Musioka. Those are hi to your teachers. Thank you so much, Ukia girls, to partner with Shifting Grades Online School. As we proceed to number 4, which is a question on equations of straight lines. It's a concept on equation of straight lines. You shall allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our extra. We're doing a lot of programs to make sure that the Kenyan students, Warren High School, thank you so much. Mathaivi Secondary, thank you. Actually, I'll be doing the shout outs later. Allow me to talk about our extra programs here, which we're going to offer during this holiday, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a candidate and you are following us, we invite you to a program which will be spearheaded by NEC facilitators, KCSE and KCSE experts. We shall be handling you in mathematics, English, Kiswahili, chemistry, biology, physics, geography, CRE, history, and business studies. For KCSE learners, we shall be dealing with them in mathematics, English, Kiswahili, integrated science, social studies, pre-technical studies. So please do not be left out. Do not be left out in this. Our number, just for easier consultation, remains 07 15 33 33. That is the number you're supposed to use so that you make a smooth registration. The Great Alliance Boys. It is Alliance High. It is Alliance High, not Alliance Boys. And thank you so much, Alliance. You can say hi to my great colleagues in Alliance. Warren High School, thank you. Kiambu Township, thank you so much. Vine Spring Girls, Nairobi, thank you so much. Thank you, great people, for finding time to follow up with this great presentation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me now check number 4. Allow me check number 4. Are we together there? In number 4 now? Are we together in number 4? If yes, type yes. So that we may, yeah, I think number 4 is very clear on the screen. I can see it. So we start the presentation of number 4. Number 4, the question says that a straight line L1 passes through the points 3, -1, -1k, perpendicular to L1 and passes, it passes through, look at this, it passes through the point -1. If the gradient line 2 equals to 1, the gradient of line 2 equals to 1, part A, find the value of k. One thing that you're supposed to know is that with the 2 coordinates and there is an unknown, we need the gradient for us to proceed in the process of finding the value of k. So we need to say this, for perpendicular lines, these are very key statements. That's a very key statement. For 2 perpendicular lines, there is a relationship between their gradients. Gradient 1 times gradient 2 should give us a -1. And for parallel lines, ladies and gentlemen, gradients are usually the same. Therefore, the gradient of 1 times their known first gradient should give us -1, meaning that gradient 1 equals to -1, because when you divide through by 1, the value -1 remains. Thank you. You can see you are increasingly joining us. So we have now the gradient of the first line, and we are also having a point where the line passes. Continue inviting your friend. Thank you. Invite one more friend. We are 38. We can get to 76 through simply sharing of the link. Okay, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Gradient is usually obtained by change in y out of change in x. Therefore, the gradient of -1 for the first line should be given by change in y from the provided coordinates, k minus a -1. K minus a -1. I want to take you slowly. K minus -1. You're supposed to know that there is a negative in the constant being subtracted, and there is a negative in the formula. Change in y. K minus -1, which is the other y coordinate. Out of change in x, -1 minus 3. -1 minus 3. So at this point, we can say -1 equals 2. When we're having k minus a negative, now it changes to a +1 out of -4. Remember, these are constants, so we can have it as a -1/1. Now, if you do cross multiplication, ladies and gentlemen, if we do cross multiplication here, shall be -1 by -4, becoming +4. This is equivalent to, when 1 multiplies, this remains as it is. And to remain with k, the 1 is supposed to be subtracted on the left-hand side. This becomes a 3. Are we together at that point? If yes, type yes. If yes, type yes, I'm learning. Now, with the value of k, we can say that we can now proceed, I think. You can proceed, because nothing much after that from that part. In part B, the examiner says, we find the equation of L2 in the form y equals to mx plus c. All right. Look at this. Equation 2 is passing through this point, and we're already having the gradient S1. Therefore, we need another coordinate. We're already having gradient S1 for line 2. We're also having a coordinate -2, -1. Then we also let the general coordinate xy to be applied in this case. so that you may express the gradient to get the equation. Gradient is 1, change in y, y minus a -1 to change to a +1, change in x, x minus a -2, changing it to a +2. Being a constant, I've said, we can let it be over 1. So when you cross multiply, ladies and gentlemen, when you cross multiply, you'll have y plus 1 because you've just multiplied by 1. Then 1 also multiplies to have this one remaining as it is. Now, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we can now arrange our terms to remain with y. There is already x. Then when we are having 2 here, and this is a +1, the +1 becomes negative on the other side, and it shall be 2 minus 1 becoming 1. So that is the equation of the second line in the form that we've been told there. Number 5, another great question. New highway locked and learning. I like that. The mighty Garissa High. Thank you so much. The Moi Girls Isinya. Thank you so much. So thank you. Continue recognizing your school. Continue recognizing your school. Remain an ambassador of your school. Great ambassadors of your schools, the respective schools where you come from. Can check number 5 now. Now solve for x in the equation. 1 out of 27 power x equals 2. 9 power x minus 2 out of 3 power x minus 1. This is on indices, and we shall be applying a few laws here and there. I think this one can be solved in as many approaches as possible, ladies and gentlemen. And allow me start by crazily doing what we call cross multiplication at this point. So I shall be having 27 multiplied by, I'm using dot multiplication because there is already x, which might confuse with the multiplication sign. 9 x minus 2. This is equivalent to 1 multiplied by 3x minus 1. Look at that now. At this point, I talked about expressing bases or expressing composite numbers to the least base possible according to the expression. Therefore, we can put all the bases to be base 3 in our expression here, in our equation. So we know very well that 27 equals to 3 power 3. Is that okay? So this part becomes 3 power 3, and there is already a power x there, multiplied by 9 is equivalent to 3 squared. Is that okay? So this becomes 3 squared, and there is already a power. There's already a power x minus 2, like that. This is equal to, now there's something called the zero index, which we're going to apply in this step, which says power 0 equals to 1. Therefore, when we introduce 3 power 0, it will still be the same as 1. So instead of 1, we can have 3 power 0 multiplied by 3 power x. Is that okay? Now we can see multiplications and the bases are now the same. We know according to the laws of indices, if we are having a power m multiplied by the same base, power something different, we solve this by taking the base and we add the 2 powers. Yeah, we add the 2 powers like that. This one, in your mind, you'll be able now to pick 3, and on the right hand side now you add 3x. This becomes 2x. This becomes -4. This is equal to, on the right hand side 3, x minus 1 because we've just added a 0, which doesn't make any difference. At this point now, because the bases have been fully expressed, we have exhausted all the laws of indices. Ladies and gentlemen, we can now equate the powers. So equating the powers means from the right hand side, we are having a 3x plus 2x, that is 5x less 4 equals to x minus 1. Can continue grouping terms together by having 5x, and this x becomes negative now. 4x, this is equal to, we are already having negative 1. So 4 becomes positive on the right-hand side. Negative 1 plus 4, that changes to a positive 3. We can now remain with x by dividing by 4. And the final answer remains 3/4 or 0.75. So that is the value of x. You can exhaust other different approaches which can be given to this question. Thank you so much, Machakos School. That should be a former student. If you are in Form 3 at Machakos School, it means I left you in Form 1. If you are in Form 4 now, it means I left you at Form 2, 2024 December. So thank you so much for trusting in my work. Those are my former colleagues and my former students, and I really like their cooperation. Thank you, Nginda girls. Those are great people. I've been presenting your papers with Maseno High School joint examinations of Nginda and Miranda. So thank you. Alfasi girls, thank you so much. Thank you. Continue recognizing your school and also continue enrolling using the number which is on this poster 070415 3366. Remember, we're going to host experts in the papers that have been outlined here so that you may be assisted, so that you people may know what is expected of you even as you sit for the national examination. So do not relent. Do not be left out again. Ensure you enroll, ensure you take part, ensure you get the best. Remember, it's not just about knowing the content. It's also about knowing how to deliver the content. There are people that fail not because they don't know, but because they don't know how to package their answers. We have a program that shall help you understand yourself. So please join us and receive the best from the best. Thank you, Ukia girls. Thank you, Ukia girls. Thank you, another Machako school. I like that. So we can now proceed. To number 6. We proceed to now. In number 6, ladies and gentlemen, in number 6, we're being told that a piece of wire of density 10.5 grams per cubic centimeter and cross-section area 0.4 square centimeters is bent to form a regular hexagon of side 7 centimeters. Find the mass of the wire. That is part A of the question. Ribe boys, thank you so much. Remember to invite. Let us have, just become an ambassador of shifting grades in your respective schools. When you go to your WhatsApp groups and your chats, please speak about shifting grades to your colleagues, students, to your classmates and friends. Let us become representatives of shifting grades online school. If you are getting assistance, why don't you let your friends also benefit? Okay, back to this question. This question requires a very deep understanding. Again, a very clear analysis. This is on measurements, yes? Volumes, densities, mass, lengths, and all that. But again, it requires a very keen analysis. Very keen analysis. Look at it this way. Already, this piece of wire, we're given the density, and we're taught to find the mass. How do we find mass? You see, density is given by mass over volume, meaning that to remain with mass, to be density times volume. I'm using the abbreviation of density in the physics way. We call it a rho. Now, with this formula, ladies and gentlemen, then you're supposed to know one thing, that for us to get mass, because we already have the density, then volume is needed. Are we given volume? Not really. If the volume has not been provided, ladies and gentlemen, then we shall require the volume. What are we given? Cross-section area. And with cross-section area, ladies and gentlemen, are we able to find volume? Yes. When cross-section area is multiplied by length, we usually get volume. Thank you. I can see the numbers are increasing. We shall be here until we cover the whole section 1. And we just at number 6. So we are here. You better invite your friends. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. You know, now we're talking about a wire which is being bent to form a regular hexagon, 7 centimeters side. Therefore, this wire is being bent. This wire is being bent to form hexagon, to form an hexagon. And the hexagon being formed is having some, all the lengths, all the lengths are equal to 7. So, total length of this wire can now be obtained. 7 times 6 sides, 42 centimeters. So this particular hexagon will have a perimeter of 42 centimeters, meaning that the wire that we have folded has a length of 42 centimeters. Now we can get volume. Volume of the wire requires cross-section area times the total length, 42. Look at this analysis and let's go step by step. 16.8. This is volume, so centimeters power 3. That is volume. With volume, ladies and gentlemen, we can now get mass. Mass is given by density times volume, 10.5 multiplied by 16.8. This now shall be 176.4 grams. That is now the mass of the given wire. Yeah, we are having the mass of the given wire. So there is what you call combined concepts. Combined concepts, whereby the question will require you to find this before you find that. You are supposed to be very careful in such questions. Very, very careful in such questions. Yeah, thank you to Zinde High. Thank you to Zinde High. To Zinde High. Thank you so much for following. Where is to Zinde High? Anyway, we shall continue interacting more. Please remember to continue subscribing. And you'll find somebody here who has been following us. You've never subscribed. Please subscribe. When you are subscribed, anytime we shoot a lesson and present it here, you will not even require to be sent the link. You will just be getting the notifications. There are people that think when they subscribe, some money will be deducted from their M-Pesas. Not really. Just subscribe to continue popularizing this great platform. To continue popularizing, making it popular, making it famous, making it great. Yeah. Can we check part B of this question, ladies and gentlemen? Part B. So far, I'm not seeing any complaints. Kingston Valley High School, thank you. I'm not seeing any complaints, meaning that we are together. Mwani girls, thank you so much. That is Makweni. Jomo Kenyatta girls from Nakuru, thank you so much. We continue learning together. Actually, I'm screenshotting your comments so that I'll be reviewing what you people were saying during the presentations. Rapogi boys. Rapogi, thank you so much. The wire is unfolded. Now from what? From an hexagon, it is being unfolded and curved again to make a sector of a circle of radius 14 centimeters. Find the angle of the sector. Find the angle of the sector. Thank you. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me start by sketching what is being done in this. You know, there are some mathematical concepts which are made simpler by diagram sketching. We know what a sector is. Two radii are supposed to two radii joining some points at the circumference. Now this is what we call a sector. The sector is having a known angle here. The radii are each 14 centimeters. There is an arc length here which is not known, and it can be found. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, just remember this, that the perimeter of this wire is 42. So when we are folding it into a sector, the perimeter remains to be 42. If the perimeter remains to be 42, let it be known that perimeter is usually given by the arc length plus twice the radius, because the arc length is from point A to B. Then now, if the center of the circle is center O, then we can add the radius, then the arc, meaning that we will have gotten the total perimeter, which is equal to 42. Arc length plus 2r. So the perimeter is a total of 42. This is equal to a known arc length, plus twice the perimeter, twice the radius, sorry, and the two radii are each 14. Now, to remain with the arc length, this is 28. We can subtract it now on the other side. 42 minus 28. This becomes exactly 14. The arc length is 14. Mathematically, arc length is usually given by arc length, the arc at this point, beta over 360, 2 pi r. Beta over 360, 2 pi r. So we can now substitute and say 14 shall be equal to a known beta over 360 2 pi and a radius of 14. We can perform some simplifications now. 2 by 22 by 14 out of 7 by 360. I'm getting a fraction which is equal to 11 out of 45 beta. This is equal to 14. Can we now remain by both sides by the reciprocal, which is by 45 over 11 by 11. So 14 times 45 over 57.27. 7.27 degrees. That is the value of the angle at the center of the sector, which was obtained when the wire was folded. A very great question. Very, very great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's those that are joining us late. Kina Rapogi, kina Jomo Kenyatta girls. Kinamwani girls, please be reminded of our serious programs here. We're going to host a Alliance School. Thank you so much, Alliance High. We are here to help you. We go to people. We go to people. Say hi to Sir Alex. He's a great friend of mine, Mr. Mbivi Mathematics. Yeah, you can say hi to them at Alliance High School. So this next program shall help you people. Shall help you people. It shall help you people. Please join us. The interactions are beginning on Monday, the 10th of August. Thank you, Esther from Ukia. I appreciate your presence here. Invite another friend. Invite another friend to this great presentation. So these are programs that are made to basically assist you, in understanding what you're doing. Together to number 7. Marion Mutheu, thank you so much. Thank you, Marion. Thank you, Marion. Sorry, confirm network. Confirm network. To hear well. Are you able to see the question cast? Are you able to see the drawing? There is a figure here, a frustum of a con. Confirm whether Mutira girls. Thank you. Confirm whether you can see what we are doing. Please confirm. Please confirm whether you can see what we are doing here. I'm waiting for your comment. I am waiting for your comment. Thank you. Somebody says everything is clear. Asante. Thank you for the confirmation. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay, number 7, ladies and gentlemen. The question says that the following figure shows a solid frustum with a circular top of radius 4 centimeters, circular base 9 centimeters, vertical height 12 centimeters. You can see everything according to the statements. It has been described now on the drawing. Calculate the volume of the frustum. For you to obtain volume, you're supposed to be having the formula. Volume in a frustum of a cone should be given by a third base area of the original cone. Base area of the original cone. So pi r squared times the vertical height of the original cone. Then we subtract a third base area of the smaller cone which was cut. So I use r, a smaller r, times the perpendicular height of the smaller r. Now that we are having a cone here and we don't have similarities and enlargements. Similarities and enlargements, whereby we say, assuming that this is now the original cone, we can extend this, assuming that this is the original cone from which the frustum was obtained. Yeah, original cone. Then there must be a perpendicular height of the smaller cone. There must be a perpendicular height of the smaller cone. The perpendicular height can be let to be a smaller h, like that. Then according to, ladies and gentlemen, according to similarities and enlargements, we can say that original height should be given by the smaller height of the cone that was cut off plus the height that remained at the frustum. Then the smaller height is h. Then according to similarities and enlargement, the ratios of linear remain the same. If we take the original height, h plus 12, and be very careful because this can be a section 2 question. can be in section 2, and you needed to know. We take the original height out of the smaller height, which was cut off. This should give us the radius of the larger, 9, out of the radius of the smaller that was cut. Remember, the smaller cone is resting on the top. It is resting on the top of this frustum, meaning that it shall bear the radius of 4. So radius of original cone divided by radius of the smaller cone. So the ratios of the radii should be the ratios of the heights. Cross multiplication at this point, 9 by h equals to 4 by h plus 4 by 12, which is 48. At this point, we can group terms together. 9 and 4 becomes 5. Then this is 48. Smaller h, which was cut off, is equal to 48 divided by 5. This gives me 9.6, meaning that the vertical height of the original cone shall be 12, the one was that remained, plus 9.6. Is this 21.6? Yeah, 21.6. Now with these heights, we can now get to our formula of, a third, sorry, base area, which is a circular base, times 21.6. This should be squared, multiplied by, times 9, the radius. We're using 9 at that point, multiplied by the vertical height of the original cone. Subtracting, ladies and gentlemen, a third times pi times a radius of 4 squared times vertical height 9.6. So now we have done what we call substitution. At that point, allow me get the two volume of the original, a third, pi, a radius of 9 squared times 21.6. This is giving me 1832.9142. Okay, that's enough accuracy. Minus, ladies and gentlemen, a third multiplied by 22 out of 7. This should be multiplied by 4 squared multiplied by 9.6. This is giving me 160.9142, like that. Interestingly, it might subtract and give us, it might give us what? A whole number, 1832.9142 minus 160.9, exactly getting 1672. 1672 cubic centimeters. That is now the volume. You are told to find surface area, and then it is a solid. You're supposed to know that surface area, surface area of a cone from a frustum from a cone should be given by curved surface area pi r l. L is the slanting edge minus pi, smaller radius, and the smaller slanting edge, so that you get the curved surface of the frustum. Then if it is a solid, it means there is another surface. After this, now you can add the top, which is a pi r squared, the bottom, which is pi, on how the frustum has been positioned. The smaller radius can be at the top, then the bottom can have the bigger radius. So pi r squared. So the top and the bottom, this can be informed on the nature of the solid that we are, on the nature of the figure that you're dealing with. If it is open, You don't add the tops. Sometimes you can have only one side having a surface. So it's upon you now to read the question very carefully and to know when to add the top, when to add the bottom, when to add only one of them. So thank you for following. Remember to use the comments section. If you're getting something, you can type, yes, I'm learning. Type, yes, I am learning. Thank you so much. Kisumu girls, thank you so much. Migori Township, thank you so much. Gajado Township, thank you so much. That is a St. Patrick's. Broadway High, thank you so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, thank you. I can read schools. Moi Kapsowar, yeah. St. Clair, that is a Maragoli High. Thank you so much. Somebody is saying everything is. Can we proceed, ladies and gentlemen? Allow me to proceed. And remember that we are still new to our great classes. Talk to your guardians, talk to your parents. Yeah, talk to your elder brother, talk to your aunt in Nairobi, talk to your aunt in Mombasa, talk to your relative in Kisumu. Tell them that there is a very great initiative that you've seen somewhere and it is likely to help you in your academics, and encourage them to enroll you. Enroll, and all the best. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. All the best. Our number is already on the poster. That one can be used. Some people are calling when we are doing this presentation. I think they are very impatient. How much is it? The tribes, the charges. Once you make the payment, that is the total fee for the whole tuition program. Remember, every day you shall be having a single subject. If it's a day of mathematics, it shall be mathematics and mathematics alone, so that you have what you call quality interaction with the facilitators. Kingston Valley, thank you so much. Yeah, from Kingston Valley, blessed from Kingston Valley. Thank you. Back to the paper, back to the paper, back to the great paper. We have number 8 here. Boys and girls, we have number 8 here. When I was in school, I wish we had a program like Shifting Grades Online School. I would be very far. As we speak, I should not be a teacher. I would have gone very far in life. But here we are. So take advantage of these initiatives. Kirinyaga High. Thank you. All right. So we explained about it. You follow through, you benefit, you succeed. We call it a day. Two similar metal trophies are melted down. The small trophy has a volume of 54 cubic centimeters, with a large trophy having a volume of 128 cubic centimeters. Now, the base area of the larger trophy is 48 square centimeters. What is the base area of the small trophy? This is on similarities and enlargements. One thing that you're supposed to know, when three-dimensional quantities are related, the ratio they give us is called volume scale factor. When quantities in 2 dimensions are related, they give us area scale factor. And in what you call linear measurements, they give us linear scale factor. Now, in this case, we are having volumes and areas. It's good for you to know that volume scale factor and area scale factor cannot be directly linked together. You need to pass through the linear scale factor. This way, we are having a linear scale factor here. We are having a volume scale factor here, and we're also having area scale factor. Please consider this illustration very important. What are we saying about this? From linear scale factor to volume scale factor, you are supposed to cube. Raise linear scale factor to power 3 for you to get volume scale factor. But with volume scale factor, you are supposed to obtain the third root to get linear scale factor. So take cube root. You take cube root in such a case. Now, from linear scale factor to area scale factor, you are supposed to square. You raise to power 2. Then from area scale factor, for you to get linear scale factor, then you take square root. You take square root in such a case. You see how they are related? So they are linked together, but through the linear scale factor. The linear scale factor. Now, look at this. I am sure we are together now in that illustration. If that is okay, type yes, we are together, teacher. Somebody is asking, why didn't you add the top? It was volume, not surface areas. Sorry for that. Kindly read the question. Read the question. Nyabondo High, thank you. Nyabondo High, thank you so much. Now, volume scale factor. Volume scale factor should be given by 54 out of, remember a ratio can be given as a fraction. When you divide by 2, ladies and gentlemen, 27 out of 64. So we are now having volume scale factor, and we want to relate areas. We can't go to area directly. We must pass through the linear scale factor. So to get the linear scale factor, we need now the third root of 27 out of 64. The third root of 27 is 3. The third root of 64. Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4. It's 4. So 3/4 is the linear scale factor. But we don't want to relate linear measurements. We want to relate two-dimensional. So area scale factor becomes very key now, whereby we take the linear scale factor and we square it. 9/16 is our area scale factor. Now with area scale factor, ladies and gentlemen, and master this chart. Please master this. Please forget everything, but remember this kindly. It shall help you this question. Don't cram anything else on this. This becomes the corner of help, this one. All right. Now we are having a base area of the larger, and the ratio that we have expressed here is smaller to the larger. So meaning when we pick the smaller and we divide by the larger area, which is 48, we will get the ratio 9/16. Now see that comparison now. The ratio we are having is the smaller proportion over the bigger one, which means when it gets to the base areas now, we should begin with the smaller one over the larger. Smaller one, which is unknown, out of the larger, which is 48, should give us the area scale factor, which is 9/18. Can we do what we call cross multiplication? That you're having 9/48, then x by 16. So that to remain with x, we divide both sides by 16. 9 times 48/16. I'm getting exactly 27. Now this should be centimeters squared. So area of the smaller base area of the smaller trophy is equal to 27. Thank you. Somebody saying it's clear since I joined this platform. Thank you, Kerigo and Wajiru. Yes, we are learning. Yes, we are learning. Thank you. Tomorrow physics, please, paper 2. All right. All right. Paper 2 has been presented recently. We might get to paper 1 and later paper 2 I shall revisit your concern. Thank you so much anyway for showing concern. We proceed and stay locked. Stay tuned. We're going to unveil very serious concepts here. I continue preparing for these. Number 9, use square roots, reciprocals, and square tables to evaluate to 4 significant figures 0.06434 raised to power half, then plus 0.4027 out of 3 raised to negative 2. Allow me make some applications here because the question is involving a lot of knowledge on indices, but somebody who is not careful may not see that. Somebody who is not careful may not see that. Look at the question this way. Look at the question this way. We talking about power half. That means square root. So we're doing square root of 0.06434. Then we add. Do you do languages? A good question. We have languages examiners in our programs. I'm an expert of mathematics and physics, but I have brought in board colleagues in the languages, so they shall assist you. They shall assist you. Look at this, the negative law of indices that says when you have a certain base raised to a negative power, like power m, you handle this by taking the reciprocal of the base, then making the power positive. So at this point, it shall be reciprocal. Then now the power changes to, so we are now squaring. In other words, we now square. Is that okay? Are we together in that? Okay. So now you see the tables of squares is now coming in because it has become now squared. The tables of reciprocals, because 3 over 0.4027, that is a reciprocal. Therefore, can we go to the square roots first? And before square roots, we are supposed to work with what we call standard form. So the square root of 0.06434 shall be 6.434 times 10 to the power of negative 2. I'm making it standard form. 1, 2. We've moved 2 times. So it becomes times 10 power negative 2. When doing square root, this one becomes half of the power it is. So it shall be 10 power. Remember, it's times raised to power half. Therefore, as you find square root from the table of this part, now the square root of the 10 power negative 2, you multiply it by half, it becomes power negative 1. So we read this square root from the 4-figure tables. Allow me check out the 4-figure tables from my documents. Let me check the 4-figure table here. Sorry, I didn't open it on time, but here it is. You are able to see the now and square roots. So we're going to square roots of numbers. What? 6.434. 6.434. 534. So 6.4, 6.4, 6.4, that will give us the, we are using 6.4, that is the row. 3, 4. So 3 is at this point. Flow down that column until we find this intersection. Until you find that intersection. So it's 2. The O is here 2. 2.5357. 2.5357. Then because it was 6.434, then on add column, we go where there is 4. Then we flow down that column, we find 8 at this point. So 8 should be added at the farthest end there. This is 5. You carry 1. It becomes 6. 3, 5, 2. So 5, 3, 6, 5. 5, 3, 6, 5. 5, 3, 6, 5. Yeah, like that. So we've done the square root part, but we can narrow down now to the final answer. Times 10 power negative 1, 2, 5, 3, 6, 5. We have the square root now. With the square root, we can proceed now to the other side and work with reciprocals. When we are having this, look at this. When we are having 3 out of this, it means we are having 3 and 1 over 0.4027. So this is what we are finding reciprocal for, 0.4027. So to find reciprocal of 0.4027, we express it as a standard form 1, 0, 27 times 10 power negative 1, expressed in standard form. Then we're going to read now reciprocals from tables. Allow me underline this working space. So at the reciprocals now, 10 power negative 1 changes to 10 power 1. So the power changes its sign. The power changes its sign to times 10 power 1. Then this part now, the reciprocal should be read. The reciprocal should be read from the tables. The reciprocal should be read from the tables. So 4.027. 4.027. We go to reciprocals. Check you don't confuse. Don't confuse tables. Yeah, tables of reciprocals. 4.027. So 4.0 is here, then 27. 4.0 will help us to know the row. Then 27. 4. We raise. So it's 0.2488. 0.2488. 0.2488. 488. So 4.027. So on the differences side, we check where there is a 7. We raise through that column. We find it's a 4 at the row here. Then at the table of reciprocals, it's very unique. Here we subtract. Unlike the other tables, there we subtract. So to subtract 4 at that end will give us 8, 4, 2, 0. 2484. 2484. Remember, we are starting with a 0 point. 2484. 0.2484. Now times 10 power 1. This now is changed to 2.484. It's good. My network is very okay. Kindly check yours. Kindly check yours. After finding the reciprocal of this part, Let's know that it had been multiplied by 3. So it's now 3 times 2.484. And this shall be what? 3 multiplied by 2.484. This is giving us 7.452. Therefore, the value of 3 over 0.4027 is equal to this. Now, it's good for you to remember that this is what had been squared. So we're going now to square using the tables of squares. It is already in standard form. So when squaring this now, we check the square of 7.452. Squares 7.452. 452. 7.4, it's here at the tables of squares. I've told you, you check the right tables. 7.4, 7.4, 5, 2.4, 5. So we flow down that column. We're getting 55.50. 55.50. Remember, it's 7.45, 7.452. So here we check where 2 is, and we flow down there until we meet 3 here. So 3 now should be added at the farthest end. It's add 3, 5, 5, 5. So 5.53. 5.53. Now we're supposed to remember that after finding square root, we got this 0.25365. Now we are adding 55.53 after finding reciprocal and squaring. We got this 0.25365 plus 55.53. I'm getting 50.7836. Then I have to get back to the accuracy needed. The accuracy needed is 4SF, 4 significant figures. So this can now be rounded up to 55.78. 55.78. That is now the final answer and to the accuracy that is required. Yeah, to the required accuracy. Thank you guys. Ngiriambo girls, thank you. Kerigo and Wanchiru, we are learning. Thank you girls. Continue learning. Continue learning. This is a Shifting Grades Online School. This is the home of academics. Yeah, the home of academics. Remember, as we work, to also continue working out. As you work out, you also work out, so that you may check. Maybe sometimes we can do a mistake in our computations, and you're supposed to be very alert to ensure that you don't transfer the same mistakes to your side when working out mathematics concepts. Is that clear? Thank you. Thank you. Now it's number 10, ladies and gentlemen. It's number 10. Number 10, we're being told to mention, or to the motion, of a particle in a straight line is described by the equation displacement S equals to t power 3 minus 5 out of 2 t power 2 plus 8t plus 5 meters. That is displacement in meters, or other distance. Find its velocity when velocity is maximum. Okay, I want to assume that the question has no setting error. Then we now approach it. We are finding velocity when velocity is maximum. In other words, we are finding maximum velocity. At maximum velocity, At maximum velocity, you should know that acceleration should be equal to 0. So when the particular particle has finished acceleration, it means it has attained maximum velocity. So maximum velocity is at a 0 acceleration. So we can find acceleration. Velocity displacement with respect to time. Here will give us, this is power 3. So the 3 multiplies, power reduces like that, minus, this is 5 over 2. So power 2 should multiply the constant here, and the 2 will come there over 2 here. We remain with 5. Then the power reduces by 1. At this point, we will have positive 8, and t becomes power 0. Then during differentiation, this constant shall just disappear because it's assumed that there is already a t which is to power 0. That's why t power 0 is equal to 1. So what we can see is just a 5. So the 0 here, once it multiplies, everything comes as 0. And that's why the constant is supposed to disappear. It's also good for you to know that acceleration is given by differentiation, the second derivative of displacement. Now we derive the velocity function with respect to time. This shall exactly give us what? This is a 2. So the 2 multiplies here to give us 6t minus, this is 5. The t disappears and the constant also disappears. So acceleration function equals to 6t minus 5. So when acceleration is 0, ladies and gentlemen, when acceleration is 0, what will be the value of t? If we have the acceleration function, when acceleration is 0, then t shall be 6t equals to positive 5 now. To remain with t, 5 over 6. So the value of t equals to 5 over 6. The value of t equals to 5 out of 6. Now that we have the value of t when acceleration is 0, then the velocity maximum can be given by, velocity function is here after differentiating displacement. So this is a 3 into t squared minus 5 into t plus 8. So from the velocity function, we can find the value of velocity now. Let me say 3 into 5 over 6 squared minus 5 into 5 over 6 plus 8. This is going to be 5 and 11 out of 12. Since it is velocity, meters per second. Since it is velocity, we talk about meters per second. So that is a very great question. Very, very good question. If we are together, type yes, I'm learning. If we are together, type yes, I'm learning. Why did you integrate twice? I'm not even integrating. Ladies and gentlemen, I have differentiated. Katilo boys, thank you from Turkana. We say for you to get velocity function and you are given displacement function, you are supposed to differentiate. Then with the velocity function, to get acceleration function, you again differentiate. So we wanted acceleration function so that we may relate when the acceleration shall be 0, the body will have attained maximum velocity. So at maximum velocity, acceleration is 0. So we have to find acceleration function so that we may know when is acceleration 0. When is acceleration 0? So there is a lot in, that is a kinematics, kinematics, the application of differentiation in computation of velocities and distances and acceleration. Can I increase that font? My handwriting, the PDF, or what do you mean? Anyway, I think the paper is maximally increased. Maximally increased. maximally increased. So that is the best. That is the best we can display. But thank you for your good and great concern. Can we check 11 together? Guys, we are learning tonight. Do not be or never be left out. 11. A group of Form 4 students at Nairobi School decided to, and I've not seen followers from Nairobi School. I don't know where you went today. I'll be confirming with Mr. Waithaka and some other colleagues there. You're supposed to be on board. They decided to raise 3600 Kenya shillings for a charity work by contributing equally. Look at that. If 16 students failed to contribute, each of the remaining students had to pay 30 more. Find the total number of students in the group. Can we let the original number of students to be X? Original number to be X. Original number to be X. Then now, it is not all of them that are going to contribute. 6 shall not. So, so the number that's contributing, we can call it the new number of students, the total minus 6, because some 6 students shall fail. And we usually have such people in every organization. We usually have some defaulters in almost everything. So let us ensure that we don't become the 6 people that failed, to be responsible. Anyway, original amount per student. Remember, they had to contribute 3600 and they were X. So they were to share that amount equally and contribute. The new amount per learner, they are still supposed to raise up to that, but they are now X minus 6. They are now X minus 6. This is a very good question. Please make sure you follow through. Now, there is another statement. Each of the remaining students had to pay 30 more than what they were to give. Meaning that when you pick the original that would have been contributed, minus the new, the new amount is the one which is now greater than the original. Therefore, the new amount that they are giving now minus what they would have given is supposed to give us 30 shillings. Minus what they would have given is giving us 30 shillings. That expression is everything. That one means that interpretation alone, it means everything. That one means everything. Yeah, that one means everything. So at this point, we can now talk about LCM. The LCM of the whole equation shall be X minus 6, X itself times 1, making it remain the way it is. So LCM, divide by the denominator. When you divide by the denominator, it shall cancel. X minus 6 shall cancel. We remain with X times 3600 minus LCM divide by the denominator, X to cancel. So 3600 shall be multiplied by X minus 6. This is equal to LCM divided by 1. It shall remain intact times 30. So it will be 30 multiplied by X squared 6X, like that. Yeah, X squared 6X. Can we now subdivide our space here so that we may continue expanding, simplifying, grouping terms together and all that. 3600 X minus 3600 X minus 3600 times a negative 6. So it becomes positive 21 600 equals to 30x squared minus 30 by 6, we get 180x, like that. Some grouping of terms together, ladies and gentlemen. 3600, 3600x, that one cancels out. So we can start with 30x squared minus 180x. Then this one becomes negative on the same side with those other values. This is equal to 0, like that. We can simplify this question. Is everything divisible by? Is everything divisible by 30? To get x squared minus, we get 6x minus. It's good for you to remember that we can still work with then simplified and to get the same answer, only that you'll be interacting with very big values. But when you divide through by whatever is common, like 30, you get a simplified equation, which is very easy to manage. Very, very easy to manage. Now, at this point, we can apply the quadratic formula. Somebody was talking about quadratic formula when we are dealing with expressions. Now we have an equation and we can use our formula. According to the quadratic equation, according to the quadratic formula, we know that the value of x is usually given by negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. And everything is divided by 2a. Everything divided by 2a. That is the quadratic formula. So applying it here, we need negative b. So negative, it's already a negative 6. So negative 6 plus or minus the square root of b squared. So negative 6 should be squared. That bracket is very key. Minus 4ac. So 4 by a, which is 1, by c, which is negative 720. Like that. Everything out of 2 times a, 2 times 1. This now shall be positive 6 plus or minus. Let me use my calculator very well. You know, I'm having 36, then I'm supposed to add, 4 times negative 4 times 1 times negative, it becomes positive. That's why I'm adding. That's why I'm adding at such a point. 2916. There is a square root of 2916, which is 54. Square root of 2916, which is 4, out of 2. Please use your calculator carefully if you are following with the working. If you are following with the working. 2 possible values of x shall be 6 plus 54, 60 over 2. I get 30. Or x equals to 6 minus 54. You know, the square root of 2916 is either 54 or minus 54. So the first option is 6 plus, then 6 minus. This gives us negative 48 over 2. We get negative 24. Now that it is a number of people, then we cannot have a negative number of people. So we settle at positive 30 as our number of form for students at Nairobi School that decided to contribute for some charity work. A great question. Very, very great question. Very, very great question. A very great question. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mimi nawaona vizuri sana. Thank you for Thank you. Thank you. I don't want to read some of the comments, but I'm sure friends are following. Up to that point, I'm sure people are. And because you're learning something, let us continue learning, ladies and gentlemen. We continue learning. That is the most important thing. We are here to learn, not to argue on a few things. Okay. Now, The next question, which is a number. Next question is number 12. 12 together. We shall read and interpret number 12. Number 12 together. Okay. Now, from a point A on level ground, the angle of elevation to the top T of a vertical tower is 28 degrees. From a point B, which is 40 meters closer to the foot of the tower along the same horizontal line, the angle of elevation to T, the same top, is 54. Calculate the height of the tower correct to 2 decimal places. Let us now check this one together. Let us check this one together. We're going to say that there is a vertical tower somewhere here. I've told you about visualizing information. Visualizing. When you plot information, it becomes halfway simpler than how it was before putting it in a diagram. So with a vertical tower T, the top T, we can talk about the top T here and the bottom B. Then we talk about a point A. Okay, sorry. We can talk about a point A. At point A, the angle of elevation to the top is exactly 28. Then when you proceed 40 meters closer, not 40 meters from the vertical, 40 meters closer. So from X, you move for 40 meters that way. Let's say you now arrive at point B. We said this is point A, sorry, not X, point A. You move for 40 meters. You realize that the angle as you get closer to the top, the angle is adjusting now to 50, now to 54. So the angle changes to 54. And this is a very common setting. I want you to be very careful in this working. This is a very common question. Please, can you be glued to the screen now? Can you stay glued to this particular screen? Because we are giving a very serious explanation and analysis. Very serious, very, very serious. Okay, so at this point, we are having some unknowns here, and there are two unknowns. One, up to point Y here. One, the H is unknown, and two, the distance from B to the bottom Y is also unknown, which I'm letting to be X. I'm letting to be X. Now you can be sure from point A, which is the farthest, to the base of this particular vertical tower, we are having 40 plus X. 40 plus X like that. So with this now, we can use trigonometric ratios or Pythagoras theorem. Allow me apply tangent, because with angle of 28, can we say that the tan of 28 degrees equals to, tangent is usually given by opposite side of adjacent. So we can talk about the opposite H out of the adjacent length, which is 40 plus X. Can we remain with H at one side? To remain with H, we're talking about multiplying by 40 plus X both sides. So we multiply the tan of 28 by 40 plus X. We can let this one be the first expression of X, the first expression of H. Again, we can express the angle of 54. The tangent of 54, ladies and gentlemen, is the same as opposite length out of X. How shall you remain with H alone? Multiply both sides by X. x the tan of 54. Yeah, x the tan of 54, like that, because I've multiplied now both sides by x by x by x. So with this now, we can let it be our second expression of h. So these are two expressions of the same h, the same height, meaning that the two sides are then equal. So can we agree that when we take the tan of 28 and we multiply by 40 plus x, we should get the same as when we take x, the tan of 54 degrees. Let us agree at that equation first. If we are together at that point, we can proceed and solve equations. Yeah, we can proceed and solve equations. Um, 40 tan 28, I can get the value there. 40 tan 20, I'm getting 21.2684 plus the tan of 28 itself, which is 0.5317x equals to the tan of 54, which is again 1.3764, the value of x. Now we can group terms together. 21.2684 equals to, we subtract here, subtract so that you get 0.8447. This is the value of x. Can we remain now with x when you divide through by 0.8447? So it shall be 21 point, okay, 21 point, When I divide through, I'm getting 25, ladies and gentlemen. 0.1794. These are meters. Those are meters now. At that point, we check what we had been told to find. Calculate the height of the tower correct to 2 decimal places. Height of the tower. First day and already love it. Wow, thank you. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. Okay, now that we have x, we can find h using the simplest expression. Of course, the expressions for x are 2, but now we can apply the simplest. X tan 54. Therefore, the value of h shall be x times the tan of 54. So allow me to say that h equals to tan 54 multiplied by, so answer times tan 54. I'm getting 34.656, but because I want 2 dp, 66 meters, because I need the answer in 2 dp, according to the answer is supposed to be in 2 dp. So this now becomes our final answer. Meru School, thank you so much for following. That is Ryan Murimi from Meru School. Asante. Somebody says I am learning, and I like that. So now that is one of the questions which is supposed to be approached with a lot of keenness, a lot of keenness. It's supposed to be very keen, a lot of carefulness. So don't joke with such questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we are wishing you the very best, and we are also preparing you for the very best that we are wishing you. So join our interactive facilitators, people that shall help you to grasp the best in your national assessments. 070415 That is the number you should reach out through so that you get enrolled to our classes. And tomorrow during the day, we'll be streaming national games. So we shall be bringing you live events from M-Pesa Foundation. Make sure you join us. Make sure we don't just do academic work. We ensure that our fully entertained. So make sure you follow through. Even during these programs, we shall be bringing on board very serious actually motivational speakers so that they may train you through some topics, so that they may equip you to approach term 3 with a power, with a lot of synergy, with everything that you need for your success. So our programs are a very big package. We're going to motivate you, we're going to encourage you, we're going to give you the right tips for the national assessments. Are we together in number? Are we together? Are we together in number 13? Check my network. Somebody says nice work. Thank you so much, Monica. Yeah. If it is your first day and you already love it, you can imagine the other days now. So review our work. We have presented a lot, and I'm sure you shall reap a lot. Checking number 13 together. Number 13 together. An irregular polygon has 3 interior angles or angles, each measuring 70, and the remaining interior angles, each measuring 140. Determine the number of sides of the polygon. This is a question that can be done in very many approaches, but allow me use only 2. Strictly 2 methods in the interest of time. Strictly 2. The first one, we can consider what we call sum of interior angles. Like sum of interior angles. Sum of interior angles is usually given by 180 into n minus 2. N is the number of sides. Now, in a question like this one, you're supposed to know that for regular and irregular polygons, the number of interior angles are usually the same. Therefore, we can add manually because it is irregular. 3 are measuring 70. Therefore, 3 times 70 was measuring 140. So 140, what is the number of the others? Assuming that they are a total, not assuming, letting it to be a total of n interior angles, because the number of angles is equal to sides. If the sides are n, then interior angles are also n. Therefore, n minus the 3 that we have already said they are measuring 70, and the others are now 140, the balance now, because we have already described the 3 of them, and the balance is this. This one should give us 180. Yeah, that one should give us 180 into n minus 2. This is 210 plus 140n minus, is it 420? We can confirm that. Please confirm that. This is a 360. 360. Kindly confirm. What are you confirming? 140 by 3. Yeah. Negative 420. In the grouping of terms, it shall be 180 minus 140. So that on the right hand side, we have 40n. 180 minus 140, we get 40n. Then on the other side, we have 210 minus 420, then plus 360. 360 becomes positive. Yeah, 360 becomes positive. 360 becomes positive. So this is 100 and 150, like that. 150. I'm confirming this whether we're making a mistake somewhere, because I'm getting an irrational number, because when we divide by 4, when we divide by 40, the number of sides is 3.75, which doesn't make sense logically. So I want to review and check where I could be making an error. You can also check your work and see whether we are doing what you call grouping of terms in the right way. Are we grouping terms? And are we grouping in the right way? Something to be confirmed. 210, 140n, negative 420. Yeah, there is something we are supposed to check very carefully. Okay, so I have seen the mistake actually. I've seen the mistake. Sorry for that. Let me show you what is supposed to be done at such a point. So I've gotten to the original paper because I knew there must be something wrong. And the remaining ones, each is measuring 150 degrees. Sorry for that. Each is measuring 150. Now, if each is measuring 150, then we're supposed to talk about now 70 times 3 angles plus 150 degrees times a total of n minus the first 3 that are measuring 70. This is equal to 180 n minus 2. So we get to 10, 150 n minus 450 equals to 180 n minus 360. Can we now group terms together? Sorry for the inconvenience that has led us to waste some minutes. 180 minus 150, this is 30n. Then now we are having 210 minus 450 plus 360, giving us 120. Are we now together in that? Are we together in that? So when we divide by 30, we shall get exactly n equals to 4. N equals to n equals to 4. Yeah, n equals to 4. I hope that has been worked out well now. If we are together there, ladies and gentlemen, we can now check an alternative working to this. We know that sum of exterior angles is usually 360 degrees. And we also know this is an alternative working. Alternative working. We also know that interior angle plus exterior angle usually gives 180 degrees. So if we have this knowledge, then we can say when we add all the exteriors, we'll get 360. And for every interior angle, there is a corresponding exterior. Am I clear there? For every interior, there is a corresponding exterior. So when the exteriors are measuring 110, each 110 plus interiors are measuring 150, the exterior measuring 30. And how many are they? The remaining ones now? The total was n, and there is the first 3. Now this sum give us 360. We compute this 110 by 3, we get 330. 330 plus 30n minus 90 equals to 360. So to remain with 30n, then we can now start with the 360 positive 90 because it is negative here. but now 330 becomes negative. I'm getting again 120. The value of n becomes 4 sides. 4 sides. So you can consider the sum of exterior, which is usually 360 for regular and irregular polygons. Then again, we know interior plus exterior should give us 180. So when we start adding all the exteriors, then we shall consider the interior provided. With an interior of 70, there is a corresponding exterior of 110 because they should add up to 180. So 110, 3 of them, plus with 150 interior, there is 30 exterior times how many are they? N, which is the total angles, minus the 3 that we've already discussed at this point. The sum should give us 360. Then you open brackets, you group terms together, you simplify, and get the same value of n. A very good question. Very, very good question. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for following. Thank you for following. This is my answer is 4. Oh, thank you. I like it. Some people are following up, and that is so great. So great. Can we check number next, which is number 14? We are almost finishing. You don't have to give up in anything. We are almost there. We are almost there. I'm checking your comments as we wind up checking your comments, but let us get to number 14 first. Now, given that vector OA is a 3, -4, OB M6, and that the magnitude of vector AB equals to the root of 185 units. Find the possible values of M, values of value of M. We can check it out together. You know, there's what you call expression of a magnitude, expression of a vector, that is. How do we get column vector AB? You can't get vector AB. You can't get vector AB without starting with B minus A. Therefore, we talk about M. You know that is the position of M now, minus the position of A, like that. See, we're getting M minus 3 and 6 minus a -4, which is now 10. So this is now vector AB. With vector AB, ladies and gentlemen, we can talk about magnitude. The magnitude now. This means magnitude. You should be able to interpret mathematical symbols. We are taught to find the magnitude, or the magnitude has been given. The magnitude has already been given. The roots of 185 units. So how do we get magnitude of a vector? How do we get magnitude of a vector? The magnitude of a vector, which is also called the modulus of a vector, which is also called the length of a vector, is given by you square the x component, m minus 3 squared, plus the y component also squared. This is supposed to give us the vector also squared, the length also squared. Yeah, the length squared, like that. That is the magnitude also squared. So squaring this becomes m squared minus 6m plus 9, then plus 100 equals to 185. Because it is root 185, when you square it now becomes 80, 185 now when you square. I've expanded here using the quadratic identities, overcoming that. So you can see everything clearly. Kindly confirm, kindly confirm. Am I even able to see your reactions in the comments? Asante, asante. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining this. It is one of the greatest lessons. It's one of the greatest encounters. Are we doing section 2 today? Not really. Somebody's saying not 6, it's 9. Okay, do you know how we have expanded really? Please revisit how you are supposed to expand. Revisit how you're supposed to expand. Revisit your expansion. Revisit your expansion. We have vertical quadratic identities. Are you able to remember these? That me quote this one. When you take squared, are you able to hear? When we say squared, there are people that think we just write and a -9. There are people who think so, which is very wrong. We're supposed to know that when we are squaring, generally with x minus y squared, we need x squared minus 2 multiplied by xy, then plus y squared. That is the quadratic identity. Or else you use the long method, m minus 3 to square means times itself. Yeah, to square means times itself, like that. Very soon, to do the good section B. This is what it means by you multiply by itself. Then you can use the long expansion. You start with the m times everything in the second bracket minus 3 times everything in the second bracket, like that. Then you continue expanding. Yeah, continue expanding. So don't think squaring an expression is simply done the way you think. Mathematics is very deep. Math is very deep. So don't just multiply things. Don't just square things the way you want. Ensure that you apply mathematical concept. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we can proceed, right? Can we go minus 6m 119 because it's 9 plus 100. We subtract 185. I'm getting -76. This is equal to 0. Please confirm whether this is the equation you are getting. Equation, your network, okay. Thank you. Yeah, my net is very okay. Asante. Thank you, Barbara. You can invite your friends. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. All right. A quadratic formula again to be very quick. -6 plus or minus the square root of -6 squared minus a times a negative. A is 1 times a -76. I'm applying the formula. This is out of 2 times -6 becomes minus -6 becomes 6 plus or minus. Again, to my calculator, you know 6 squared is already 36. Minus 4 multiplied by negative becomes positive because a negative times a negative. 76 by 1 is remaining -76. So -4 by -76. So 4 by 76. This becomes 340. 340 plus, yeah, 340. Then we take square, which is not a perfect answer. It is an irrational number, 4.4 out of 2. Shall either be, when we start with a positive, then we divide by 2. I'm getting 12.22. Or the value of m equals to 6 minus 44. Then I divide negative 6.22. These are the two possible values of m. The two possible values of m. These are the two possible values of m. You just solve the quadratic equation like that. A good one. Number 15. Guys, we are almost there. We are almost there. So chill, chill, chill. Relax. Stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Very good questions here. We shall be checking all this one of these good afternoons, of these good nights, one of these good days. So I shall, and of course, if you are subscribed, you shall be seeing the notifications whenever we're doing a question. I guess you're a genius. All right, all right. Thank you, thank you. I also do the same. Now find the range of values of x that satisfy the compound inequality below and represent your solution on a number line. Those further instructions should be taken very seriously. Now you're supposed to know that the middle terms are usually shared. The middle term is x plus 1. In between the two inequality signposts are usually shared. So you split this one into two, such that you start with the 3x minus 1 over 2 minus x plus 3 over 4 less than or equal to x plus 1. This is one inequality. Then the other one should also contain the middle term x plus 1, because I've said the middle terms are usually shared by the two simple inequalities that you shall come up with. Less than 3 second one. So for you to solve this one, checking network. Somebody is asking, I was denied accuracy mark because of giving more than one decimal place. Who denied you the mark? Share the original marking scheme with you. I'll share the marking scheme of this paper with you. I don't know whether maybe you are doing something else whereby something different was required from you. So we shall deliberate on that later. I don't know what's happening. From my phone, I can't see clearly. You can see everything well from that side. Confirm whether everything is clear. Confirm your net, guys. Okay, confirm my net. Network, it's not clear. Yeah, very true. Very true. It's not clear. You can also see. I'm checking something on the network. Then fortunately, everything is getting clear. Everything is becoming clear. Slowly, it's becoming clear. Anyway, we can finish up. Okay. Finally, it's clear. Let me check this poster. It's also clear. So now we can proceed, right? Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Now, we can simplify the first one, which looks simpler and easier. 3x, 2x. Now, negative 5 becomes positive. You divide both sides. You divide both sides by 2. Are we together now there? You divide both sides by 2. Both sides by 2. And that is the second one, simplified. Second simplified. The first one. The first one is already having fractions there and all that. So allow me introduce a of 1. Then I work with the LCM. LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. 4 divided by 2, we get 2. 2 into 3, x minus 1 minus 4, get 1. X is less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. 4 divided into x plus 1. X plus 1 like that. So now we can open brackets. We get 6x negative x plus negative x. Look at that. You know, I divide by 4, I got 1. Then because of the negative there, the negative 1 should affect everything. Now becomes negative. So minus x, but we get negative 3 also. Less than or equal to 4x plus 4. 4x plus 4 like that. 4x plus 4. So grouping terms together, this is a 6x. This is minus 1. That becomes 5. So 5x, and this is a 4. 4 is now becoming negative. So 6 minus 1 plus 4. It becomes x. 6 minus 1, 5, then minus 4. We get x. Less than or equal to. We are already having negative 2 and negative 2 and a negative 3. That is negative 5. Negative 2 and negative 3, negative 5. Then they become now positive on the other side where they find 4. And it changes to 9. So now we can combine. This is the first one. We can now combine simplified second and first. And you see that x is ranging from 3 all the way to positive 9. In case you had been told to state integral values, remember negative 3 cannot be strictly greater than 3. So representing on, you allow me to draw the straight line. Negatives, then now the positive side is what we are interested in. Remember, you are supposed to equal intervals for a number line. Supposed to use equal intervals. Equal intervals. For a number line, you're supposed to use equal intervals. Bishop Linus' name, I feel happy. Thank you, Bishop Linus. You can help me pronounce your name. Network. Okay, good. So now we are starting from positive 3, we just circle like this, up to positive 9. And because positive 9 is included, we now ensure that the circle is closed like that. So the values of x are within these two limits, one being inclusive, the other one not inclusive. And finally, number 16, guys. Finally, number 16, a tea kiosk owner of capacity 250 ml and 75 ml 500 ml, filling each cup an exact whole number of times from a single urn. Each cup is sold at 50 cents for the 250 ml, 375 ml, 20 shillings, then 30 shillings for the 500 ml. Find the maximum revenue that can be collected if the urn is to the least possible capacity. Can we first check the least possible capacity of this urn, which can be used emptied? You see, of 200, 375. So the least possible capacity of the urn containing some tea, whereby we need to use these particular cups to serve the tea. Equal number of tea, the LCM. 250, 375, 500. So first, help me the explanations. We can start by 2 because some of them are even. This one remains because it's an odd number. This becomes 250, meaning that you can do 2 again. 125, like that. Can we check now? Everything divisible by 3, really? This remains. This becomes 125. This also becomes 125. So we need factors in 125. By 5, we get 25. In the case 5 again, we get 5, 5, 5. And finally, by 5, we get 1, 1, 1. So the LCM shall be 2 times 3 times 125, or 5 by 5 by 5. The least capacity of this urn, sikuget poa, okay? Please get me well. Please make sure the greater sign change any sign. Anyway, you can get back and see. 2 by 2 by 3 by 125, I'm getting 1500 ml. So the urn is having this capacity. If it has this capacity, now look at the question. Each cup is sold at 15 for the 250 ml. So we using the 250 ml cups, how much can we 250 ml cups, how much revenue can be collected? The urn is having this. We share into 250 ml cups. We get the number of cups times how much is each cup? 15 bob. So how much will be collected if it is sold in cups? Kindly, ladies and gentlemen, mine is now trying, even if times 15 bob. So we shall get 90 from the sale of the tea in cups of 250 ml. What about when we use 375 ml? When we use 375 ml, 375 ml cups, a total capacity of this divided by 3. These are the number of cups. Each cup is being sold at 20. Is being sold at 20. So 1500. We compute that. I'm getting 80 bob. So we shall 80 bob like that. What about when we use the other capacity of caps? 500. So what about using the 500 ml cups? It will be 1500 out of 500. We get number of cups and each cup is being sold at 30 finishing. So wait for the last explanation. Wait for the last explanation. Checking on the net, checking on the nets, checking on the net. Oh, this is a great presentation, guys. Checking. Once it stabilizes, let me know so that we get back to the presentation. I don't want to speak anything when the screen is not clear. Yeah, I don't want to speak anything when the screen is not clear. It has to be clear first. It has to be very clear first. It has to be very, very clear so that we may know what we are doing. This is also our M-Pesa line. You can use it to buy some tea for Mwalimu. You can use it to buy some coffee for Mwalimu. You can also recharge our Wi-Fi. You can promote shifting grades in the least or the best ways possible. So yeah, you are free. You're free. I'm not allergic to M-Pesa transactions. You can share what you have with Mwalimu and all shall be well. Mhm. This is mathematics for grade which? Now, we're saying this, eh? Tatumalizie swali. Tuachane na watu wa grade. We shall get to them. Actually, very soon we are having a grade 9 presentation, 90. This is 90. I'm getting 90 at this point. 90 at that point. Now, guys, is that your numbers? Yes, it is my number. 0704 15 33 66. Say hi to your parents and tell them that Mwalimu needs some soda. Mwalimu needs some data bundles. Mwalimu needs some coffee. Using 500 ml cups, we shall collect 90. So the maximum possible, maximum sales or maximum revenue from this urn shall be 90 shillings. 90 shillings. You cannot start adding these values. You cannot say 90 plus 80 plus 90 because if the urn is full, you cannot sell 90 bob and you also sell 80 again and you start again selling 90. You can sell either of these, and to obtain maximum, you can either use the 250 ml cups or the 500 ml revenue of 90 Kenya shillings. And gentlemen, and that is what you are expecting in such a paper. I want to thank you so much for following up to this late. I want to wish you well in your studies. I want to invite you so that you may continue sharpening your skills through our very interactive platforms. Imagine the way I'm teaching here. Imagine we were in a Google Meet, whereby the programs are in Google Meet, where you can ask questions. You can just raise up your hand like an ordinary class. You put your hand, you ask something, the facilitator makes it clear, and you find yourself sailing through very comfortable national examinations. So do not be left. As the others succeed, stand to be counted. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. See you tomorrow in a different presentation. But remember, even before me getting live, there are very many presentations on our platform that you can actually you cannot go through all the presentations in one day. So make sure even during the day before we go live, you are busy revising something through Shifting Grades Online School. Almost every concept has already been covered. So make sure you explore our platform and you shall never remain the same. I end the video now. Thank you so much. Have a good night. See you another time. Bye bye. 2 hours, 39 minutes.